Hello, bonjour, Savan. How are we today? It is Sunday, June the 22nd, 2025, here in southwestern Ontario, Canada, by the beautiful shores of Lake Huron. It is 32 degrees, feeling like 43. This is just the second day into our big heat wave. So it's hard at the beginning when your body is trying to adjust from the cooler weather we've had for a very long time, which I quite enjoy, to this immense humidity basically within one afternoon. Yesterday afternoon, it shifted. And so there are now people here. There are all kinds of tourists, and everybody's at the beach. It's a lot of traffic, so summer is on. We're game's on here now until the fall, till Labor Day, when everybody goes back home. I don't know how you've been feeling, but personally, it's been a strange ride at the moment. There's a lot of feeling, again, like in that chrysalis stage, like the butterfly, where we're in this momentum of feeling rather than seeing or hearing. And it's starting to take a toll on us if we are not responding in kind. So if we're not meditating, if we're not tuning in, if we're not giving ourselves the freedom to be ourselves, then we're going to be, I'm hearing it as accosting others' truths. So, in other words, we have to be free to be me. We have to be authentic, transparent, full of integrity and joy and light and life. If we are resorting to the lower frequencies of light, we're going to feel like our life is always or constantly, continuously in strife. Now that is the delusional timeline that we're stepping out of. Most of us who are already on our higher divine timeline already know this. We feel it, we get it. Sometimes it seems like it's a little cloudy on the horizon. We don't quite see or get it or what's exactly going to happen. This has been brought up a number of times now when I've come here to give you a message. We're not always supposed to know what's going to happen next because it could alter the outcome to the point where it's not going to end up where it was supposed to be. In other words, the blueprint, the plan, that projection. Like, this is what I want to create, but if we give away absolutely everything, it can be messed with. So there's like a privacy part to this. There's a hidden part. Like, we don't want to give too much of the message away in case people try to alter it in a genetic way. So we could alter it from our goodwill, but we also can alter it from our not so goodwill. In other words, there could be others who are listening and tapping into certain frequencies as well, but they're doing it to create their own little hell. So in other words, they want to stir the pot. They want to get people to feel angrier and more anxious. They have some kind of dastardly plan, as I'm hearing it, to create havoc amongst humanity. So there's a lot of protection involved in this as to part of some of the reasons why we do certain things in secrecy. There are certain momentums that need clearing that, again, if hindered, You may not get them totally 100% cleared. So I'm getting a picture. It's like a war zone where, we're going to do the good guys and bad guys. Guys with the white hats and the white ones with the not so white hats, shall we say? And and I'm seeing the picture in the old Mad magazine again. I've referred to this before numerous times, I think, at this point, about the two spies, the white spy and the black spy, and they're identical. They're just flip side of the coin. And the guy who's dressed all in black, like the bad spy, is always trying to ruin all the good deeds of the good spy. I'm gonna make this extraordinarily simple and very dualistic to get the point across. So sometimes it's not a wise choice or thing to do to let the enemy know what you're planning to do. So when some people, I know, get frustrated because, we're not spilling the whole beans, then there's always a very good reason for it. And it's very logical. It's very left brain. It's, there's my air conditioner kicking in. There's there's a lot of subterfuge going on, and when there's subterfuge going on, you have to be more protective than normal or in an ordinary circumstance. If we're not able to see the complete completion of a certain projection of a thought wave down the timeline to create a preferred positive outcome, then we can be messed with, bottom line. So some of these reasons are coming out in the forefront for us to claim this or say this to you. And some of us, we just want to, it's like gel in private. So there are times when we withdraw from the public. There are times when we pull our energy back in. There are times when we just don't want to, as you would say, socialize with others. We don't want to share our energy with other beings of lesser light. It's just the way it is. Sometimes we're more outgoing. We generate more thoughts, we send them out, and then other times we recoup our energy because we've done too much. Now we pull our energy back. Sigh of relief, a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of contemplation. And then we build up the energy again, and out we go again. So it's a rise and fall, cycles within cycles, as we've talked about before. But there are genetic cycles. There are ways of being and means of accessing our higher codes. If we just can give ourselves the time and the space to withdraw from others, and that's including the human race. So we pull back. We, become a hermit for a while, or we isolate ourselves, or we just want to be alone, bottom line. It feels good to be alone with our own thoughts and our own creations. That's our own thought waves, because that's how we create. But when these times run dry, then we must come from on high. So that's what feeds our spirit. It's our higher light, angelic light, divine light, source code light. That's what feeds us, and that's what removes our fears and our complacencies and any obstructions to the truth. Because we can't be tied into the lie anymore that has been propagated on your planet. It just doesn't work. It can't. It's too low. Anything too low is being wiped clean, as we've stated numerous times before. So now we're going out. It's like we're going now through the door. and we're entering this new core. So we're actually through the doorway now. Years ago I heard, well, we're standing on the threshold, or the threshold of a dream. We're standing on the threshold. The door is open. All we have to do is walk through, and we're into this new spatial frequency of light. But that was back in, 2010, 2011, when I was hearing that. That was quite a while ago. And in the last little while, I've heard that, we're entering. So now I am hearing to say to us, pass this message, this information along, is that we have made it through the doorway, the walkway, into our own truth. So there is no going back because the door is shutting behind us. So this is a new reality now. This is a new realism. You're realizing things now about yourself and the hidden truths about complacency and lies and charming peoples of the lower light. We're starting to see it, get it, understand it. We want to remove ourselves from it. We don't want to continue down that dark path again, because we've done it so many times before. Cycles upon cycles, streams of thought, just repeating over and over and over again. Okay? So it's time to bury that in the past. The past sine waves do not last. Okay, we're burying our past. And we're moving on, we're moving forward. There is no more constriction of thought here. You can create whatever vision, whatever high light creation you wish now. There is no contemplation necessary. It's like wishing on a dream and it's there. But you have to give a care. So there has to be love. You have to come from love. You have to come from substance of thought. In other words, the positivity, the engagement in higher light, vehicles of thought. So other beings who carry very high light structures. And as I was hearing before I came on today, I was hearing about how the new higher lights are coming in. And that's the new beings from off-world. I also heard spaceships of light. I do hear that from time to time, but today that was the main message that I was hearing. It's about these spaceships that are actually of higher light beings. Okay, so don't worry, it's not the nasty ones who want to chop you up and eat you for lunch. Okay, not talking about that. But they're these high light beings, they're spaceships, they're alignments in their higher light. They don't participate in the lower light. They're not in that bandwidth of light. Okay, so they're coming from a nurturing, conditioning way of being. So their conditioning has been to be nurturing, in other words. So they're here to help, to serve, and not to be compliant with the lower light. So as we step up our frequencies, then they can become more and more of our own realities. Just depends what you want, right? But bottom line, they're here to help these ones, okay? They're not just like a human. If somebody came and visited humans on Earth for the first time, it's like the luck of the draw. Who are you going to meet? A really nice, good person? Or are you going to meet a really nasty, not so nice person? And then if you go away and go, wow, that entire human race really sucks, or that human race is so wonderful, they're so advanced spiritually. And it's like, give your head a shake. No. It's a whole mixture. It's a whole big ball of wax, the good, bad, and the ugly. But these ones that we're focusing on right now, they have nurtured their own up and coming bandwidth of higher light, higher thought waves, how to treat people right. In other words, other beings of light. So I'm not getting that there's anything to be afraid of. I'm just getting that there's some more substance there. There's higher light wave, thought wave, wavelengths there. And it's generating newer bandwidths of light too. So it's part of the creative whole about building us up, letting our frequencies rise more easily back to the sun, the central sun from where we come, and then proceeding on to our future paths and our future timelines. So it is an exciting time. Right now, if you're feeling more like in this chrysalis state of being, just let it work through you. Okay, so let it happen. You don't have to feel there's something wrong with you because you don't want to be around people right now, or you don't get any joy or satisfaction like you did before. Because this is a temporary structure, and it's like we're caving into the lower light if we think we're not doing this very right. Okay. So there's no right or wrong. It's just however you feel you're most strong. So if you feel you belong to a family or a group, and this feels good for you to be with, to continue with, then, great, go for it. But if you are avoiding others because they're kind of harming you, they're bringing you down, they're using you, maybe perhaps even abusing you in some way to get what they want out of you or from you, then that's the time to turn that one around. Right? Because they will eventually bring you down. And then that gateway or pathway that you thought you were seeing there for a while, poof, it'll be gone. It'll disappear. Because the energy isn't clear. So don't fear. Don't be afraid of your journey forward. Follow your intuitive guidance system, those hunches, those little nudges, I call it. Oh, the thought just popped into my head, maybe I shouldn't go out with that group tonight. Socializing. And I know normally I think it's a lot of fun and I have a great time, but I'm not feeling it. And the thought is like, just stay home. Or go somewhere else with somebody else. Then follow those intuitive guidances. Those are your intuitive guidance systems of light, your inner GPS, I like to call it. It's your personal inner guidance system from your higher light, in other words, from Source. So we're going to have fun. I'm going, thank you. I needed to hear that. We're going to have fun eventually, okay, as we work through this process of coming back to our higher sun, to our central sun. We're going to be in harmony with everyone, right? So the complacency will be done, and there'll be nowhere left to run. So, those beings who are of a low thought structure, as we've said how many times now, your time is up. Your time's up. I don't wear a watch, but I'm just pretending that there's a watch there. I stopped wearing watches when I started doing this work because I didn't need it anymore. I remember there was one time, and this was long before I started, Spirit called me into doing this work, this healing work and teaching work that we're doing here. And I remember I was back in my 20s. I was single, working at Ma Bell at the time. And I was so tired. I'd been out dancing, of course, the night before, and I was so tired. And I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to even open my eyes, but I wanted to know what time it was. So I just kept focusing on that thought. What time is it? What time is it? I'm too tired. I can't open my eyes. And all of a sudden I saw the picture of my clock. I had a little clock. Remember the clocks, the alarm clocks? I always had to set the alarm clock. I had to get up super duper early. It was like an hour to an hour and a half to get into Toronto to work every day. So I had to get up really, really early. And I saw a picture in my mind's eye of the clock, and it pointed, it was 12 o'clock. And I'm like, whoa, like it startled me. That woke me up. And I popped up, my head popped up, and I looked over at the clock. Sure enough, it was noon. It scared me so much I didn't want to do that anymore. So I didn't. It doesn't scare me anymore. When you, just a little heads up, if you do shut down some of your abilities, your gifts, your higher senses, and then you decide, oh, I want them back, sometimes it takes a little time to coax them to come back on. But they do eventually. You got to keep at that thought. I want it back. I want you back. I let you go, but I want you back. And they'll come back, and stronger and better and higher than you can ever imagine. We have some wonderful gifts and abilities within our genetics, in our DNA. Anyway, I'm not hearing anything more to say. I love you always. Take care of yourselves and others. I do hope you had a wonderful solstice. As I say, here the weather just literally changed. I'd like to say overnight, but it was during the day. It was from morning to afternoon. And I don't know how much longer this weather is going to be like this, but that's what happens when you live in Canada, eh? You get every type of weather you can possibly think of and more. So if you do wish to book an appointment, I still have the solstice special on until the end of the month. So 1 hour is only $55 Canadian. If you want us to do a reading, including the energy healing work, then you can go to the website www.healingourenergy.ca and book your appointment there. All right, take care of yourselves and others. Love you always. Bye for now.